Before we start, I would like to ask your help to do two things. First, tell a friend or two who you think might like the show. And second, please rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. The more reviews the show gets, the more likely it will even appear in search results. Thank you, and now on to the show.
They make the trek out to Burning Man for a week and a day. After a lot of work, oh, there's a lot of play. Party, 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 drama, 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 bitch, bitch, bitch. Year after year, they come back to scratch that itch. They all say their lives have been changed. After many years, lives have been rearranged. That change is what this show is all about. You'll see the impact of Burning Man up and out. So sit back, relax, and cancel all your plans. These are the stories about the shadow of the man.
Hello, and welcome to the Shadow of the Man Show. I'm your host, Andy. That Detroit madman? No, it's that Andy. Today, our guest is Ryan Doyle. Welcome.
Hello.
So, I was introduced to you. Oh God, I'm like totally blanking on his name. It was like a friend of yours. It's like you got to interview Ryan Doyle. So you have built a couple of the famous art cars that everybody knows about, right? So did you build the robot heart card or just the heart of the robot heart?
Well, it's a big team that does it, but yeah, I built the heart and built a lot of stuff for Robot Heart.
Wow. And you sent me a picture of that's on the going to be on the episode art. And you said that was the red dragon?
Gonkirin, it's the light dragon.
The light dragon. Wow. What year did you build that?
2010.
Oh. Wow. So you've been at this a long time.
This year was my 25th Burning Man.
Oh, wow. You get the patch. So when was your first year? What got you to go to Burning Man?
My first year was 98. I went with some friends from Minneapolis who were in traveling punk rock circus and um, was part of what was then called Pedal Camp
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and started working for DPW and continued to work for DPW till pretty much till I built the Robot Heart. So 2008, 2009.
Okay. So when did you help build the robot heart? You said it was about 2008 or so?
2009, I think, was our first year.
Oh. So what was the story with the robot heart?
I was doing the show in the Hamptons at this place called the Watermill Center and was approached by a guy named Walter Smith, who's an architect, and came and was riding one of the art like sculptures. It was a dance machine called Alley Oop. It was a kind of a dinosaur with a big conical neck.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, yeah, me and my friends are got a double decker bus from England, and we want to put some LEDs on a big heart, get a big sound system, and just play out in Deep Playa and show people that they can love each other. I was like, okay, yeah, I don't know, maybe. And then I went home later that night and thought about it. I was like, I don't know why you think you're better than that, or why wouldn't you help them? And sent the guy an email like, hey, let's meet up, do some drawings. And then I met that George, who started Robot Heart with Walter and myself and a handful of other people that are still around,
Hmm.
like Calabrese. So went over to George Mueller's place and started just talking about it. And then I was like, yeah, okay, I can build it, but you probably have to have my friends, reassemble it. We can ship it out in a shipping container from New York. But I'm going to be working on this other project with a bunch of artist friends and probably not coming to Burning Man this year. Like, yeah, cool, whatever. Yeah, just here. And then they came to pick it up and got it in the shipping container and took me out to dinner and multiple beverages. And we're
Hmm.
like, bro, come on, we gotta have you come to Burning Man with us. Like, come on, you gotta come. Come on, whatever you want. Just yeah, just what come on, you gotta do it. I was like, okay. So went out and assembled it in Alameda,
Okay.
like a few I don't know, a few days beforehand. I made it to, come apart and bolt back together and when we
It's
got it on the bus,
it's roadworthy, right? I mean, you can like drive it there, right? Or do you have to put it
the
like in
double
a,
decker bus.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's like maximum height restrictions and things like that. So yeah, it has to come apart. And then it's the double decker bus itself is pretty much made to maximize those. So
Well, how'd you get it from
there's
Alameda to the Playa then?
we put it all together and then took it all apart and drove it. So I drove it out. See, there's a mechanic Mike, English Mike. I don't know if I ever knew his last name other than English Mike, but he drove it from Alameda to Reno, and then he got really tired, so I drove it from Reno onto the playa, and we showed up, and I had another art car that was out there waiting for me that my friends had kind of brought out from the ranch, and just got there and put it all together. I think the first time we probably didn't have it out onto the playa till like Wednesday of the event from it taking longer than expected or
So if you didn't go, like, would they have known how to put it together?
yeah, they're very capable humans over
Oh,
there.
okay. I thought that was part of the
Um,
reason why they're like, no, you have to come. So, like, we can't do this one without you.
yeah, George was a pretty amazing guy. He passed away a few years ago, but he
Oh,
really taught me a lot. And I think we both had a lot of respect for each other. And yeah, I miss him. He's a good
hmm.
guy.
Wow. So what are you saying? So Walter Smith and George, are those like the two of the people who started.
George Mueller was the real like um authoritarian dictator of robot art, but the founder.
Uh,
Um, but there's a few other people that were and are still are involved.
uh, yeah, because they've been going on like it's been pretty consistent like every year they've been back, right? Like since then. So did you say 2009?
Well, those
Like,
see, there was one.
well,
I
except
think
for
the first
20.
pan. Yeah,
Yeah.
you said it. First pandemic year they didn't go, but second one we went.
And and they're really,
There's
I've
a
heard
couple.
that they're like in Alameda now or something like that. Is it they have their own little was like their own events there?
It's there was a residency near Alameda in
Yeah.
Oakland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oakland. Yeah.
They do stuff in New York a little bit here and there still. Did a big one in um, Central Park
Yeah.
a couple years ago, and there's plans to do some stuff here in Detroit too. But
Did they bring the bus out for that too?
to the one in New York yet?
Yeah. So how do they transport it? Did they actually just have to put it like disassemble it, put it in the container, ship it across, reassemble, or would you? I guess you couldn't really drive it across the
There's
country.
there's a specialty semi trailer called a RGN Lowboy or drop deck that it can go on. It's what you see a lot of heavy equipment on.
Mm-hmm. Ah. Oh, wow.
So
Wow. It's quite the effort. Yeah.
yeah.
So so you first went in 1998 with some punk friends from Minneapolis. Like what was and you started working for DPW. Like what was the first art car you ever worked on?
The first one I worked on was called the Bucket. It was a Dodge 318 station wagon that um, Lynn Moth, who was the head of what became DPW cleanup crew,
Mm-hmm.
he had brought it out and we chopped it up and put some flamethrowers and some pulse jets. This guy, Cal Speletich from a group called Seaman,
Oh yeah, yeah.
was part of it. And another guy that was from Minneapolis, Pete Manuel, and drove that around. That was the official like first DPW art car. Um, and then the bucket, or I mean the Volare was right after that. Um,
Oh, what was that?
there's a few other ones. The Volare is a is a Volare that's just been beat up with bats and just is a beat up Volare. It's been part of DPW. It usually has a spire on it or couch up on top.
Uh, oh, okay.
Then there are a handful of other DPW art cars like that. Um, I helped work on this one called the Chromosome.
Hmm.
What was his name? Robert. Damn, should remember that. Anyway, um,
What did chromosome look like?
he just took a bunch of chrome bumpers and made basically like a double helix, like a DNA
Wow,
strand.
that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my friend Eli. I don't know if you remember the name, but he had like a Saab that he made into like a art car. He worked for DPW for like many years, but yeah, I'm not sure if he still goes. I know his son.
Yes. They don't really let those kind come out anymore because of the rules that have changed at DMV. But
Oh, really?
I remember Eli Saab, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you mean the rules changed? Because I remember like what DPW could pretty much just kind of make whatever cars want and drive around, or like it's like DMV now has like rules of like what can drive on the playa.
Well, DMV I think has always had rules like that, but um, the Mad Max looking cars, anything where you can still see the vehicle, uh, DPW can have them registered as like a fleet vehicle, but I think now all fleet vehicles are owned by DPW, so people maybe can still use their personal vehicle a little bit, but less during the event. And then DMV has allowed some like grandfathered ones in, and I think they do 5 new ones each year for DPW.
Five.
Yeah,
Oh,
which kind of it's usually about how many break down, I guess. So keeps it kind of even.
wow. And I think that's pretty much just like during the event, right? So like before or after, rules are a little looser.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. All right. So where do you build the art cars? Is this like all like up at the like all these different ones? Well, especially like the DPW ones. I imagine it's probably like up at like the ranch or something, right? Or,
Yeah. I have a shop here in Detroit that's part of the original Lincoln Motor Factory that a couple friends own and been a part of for 13 years. Um, so I have a couple here, and then um, Robot Heart, we build more stuff out of what's called Art Tech in Reno. It's a big art car storage lot and warehouse.
really?
And then the Dragon, I just had, or Gunkirin, I just had delivered to the work ranch where I'm going to be out there till about April
Wow.
working on it.
So the Dragon you built in Detroit and you had it shipped out there? Or,
Dragon, I started building in Oakland.
uh,
Um, I toured it around, and I did have it here in Detroit till about 2016 when I sold it. And then, let's see, last year, but no, 2024, so a little over a year ago, the person I sold it to is taking over more of his parents' business, his family business, and wasn't going to be coming to Burning Man as much anymore. He lives in Hong Kong. This guy named Teddy Lowe.
hmm.
And he said, would you like it back for $1? So I bought it back.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Well, because my first question was like, like if someone's gonna buy an art car, and especially something, large like art car, it's like, well, other than bring it to Burning Man, it's like what do they do with it? I mean,
It's we can rent it out to other festivals
oh, really?
as a stage. I would take it to maker fairs, took it to other parties that we throw about her.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. The cockroach is, yeah, it's in Miami right now. So that's going down to Loveburn is next.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
just that Art Basel. There's, I mean, it's a big dragon that people are really into. So
Yeah. Is there ever such a thing as like a car show, but like an art car show?
there's the Art Houston Art Car Parade.
Oh,
It's the
really?
biggest art car parade in the country
Huh.
slash the world.
Really?
Um, but yeah, but then there's like, other big parades like Mardi Gras, Carnival.
Wow. How long has the Houston Art Car Parade been going on? Like recent, or is it like go back a while?
Longer than Burning Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Because I always kind of wondered, I remember I was talking to Chef Juke about this, like the whole like the history of like art cars and everything, and it's like, well, it's like what came first, like the art car or Burning Man, because it's like I think the first couple of like art cars that came out was like Danger Ranger's car, the one with like the chimney fell on, like the back was all like smushed in. Um And I was talking to like Coyote, and he was talking about like a couple of like their early things they made. Like there's the one car they could only go in reverse, and so they put like with the arrow on the top, like going like driving backwards. Um, but clearly, like there were, and then there was somebody in Berkeley. I remember, like I was reading the Cacophony Society book, and it's like one of the earlier like art card people. I'm totally blanking on his name. I actually have the book here.
Michael Rabbit, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah. So I mean, clearly, it's like Burning Man didn't invent the art car, right? So things like the Houston Art Parade, like it's like preceded it.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, there's like, George Barris or Ed Big Daddy Roth or people that made art cars back in the 50s, and there's, I don't know, that
No, you talk
decorated
about like
vehicles.
for like TV and film, like the Munsters thing, or like the
Yeah,
Batmobile, things like that. Like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Is that George Barris, right? Yeah,
yep.
yeah. Wow. So, you're what kind of like what title would you give yourself? Would you say it's like I'm an art like you're an art car like artist or
Well, I
sculptor?
make a lot of other art too, but
Yeah,
yeah, artist.
yeah. Wow, that's incredible. And I guess like in Detroit, you guys have a lot of space there you can use, right? A lot of like empty old buildings.
Um, well, they're not as empty anymore, but
Oh, really?
the one we have is 380,000 square feet.
Wow.
Um, I guess I did the one of the first other art cars I worked on out there was Draka, the Dragon, which I think was the first Burning Man funded art car in
Oh, yeah. Right.
'99 or something.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. I remember that. Yeah. So I could definitely see kind of like a theme. It's like you like kind of where like the creatures are mythological kind of creatures. Just like a couple of dragons. What was that? You said you have a cockroach? What's that one?
Cockroach is a 2004 Honda Civic that had been totaled three times by the previous owner, and then
Really?
Detroit City Bus hit and ran it and totaled it a fourth time, and the insurance company told them, we're not gonna insure this anymore. So they brought it to me, and it was right after the bankruptcy, towards the end of the bankruptcy here, 2015, I think I made it. And I was like, oh, what a symbol of survival. Honda Civic that'll never die and make it into a cockroach.
So how's it totaled four times? I mean, like, is it the owner just means like, no, 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 I shall rebuild it, and then just kept like, because I can't imagine insurance would give you any money for that to be like, what?
Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, they had totaled it four times. So yeah, that means that the insurance company deemed it damaged as much or more than its total value, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So they had already paid it out three times, and on the fourth time, they were like, "Okay, we're not going to insure this anymore."
wow. I mean, normally when you like, because I I totaled a couple of cars, and like, and normally it's just like they just go like, okay, put it on the flatbed. This is our car now. Here, you get a check. Goodbye. You I didn't think it actually would give you the car back. But-
Yeah, you can keep the car and take a lesser amount.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Huh. Because I have a friend who I work with who got, God, what is it? I think it's like a classic, like Thunderbird or something like that. And he bought it off this guy because he had it in his garage. I think it was like somewhere in New York. And when like Hurricane Sandy came by, like it flooded, but it basically just kind of flooded, like the water just touched like the bottom part of like the undercarriage or something, and the insurance company was just like, it's totaled. He was like, what? And so then they, they paid him out, some money, and then they took the car, and then they were like, well, for like $2,000 or something, some ridiculously small amount of money, it's like you can have it back. And he was like, all right. And then
Yeah.
he sold it to my friend for like 10 or something. So he's like, I get the money plus more money, like I thought when they total a car, it's just, I don't know, my experience is always just kind of gone. Like, I never even thought to ask. Huh.
A lot of cars that were in Sandy did get flooded like that, and it like started a pretty nasty, actually more in like Katrina or other things where they get flooded with more disgusting water. Sandy wasn't
Uh,
as bad, but there's a lot of salt water in it. So a lot of those cars are now like very cheap
yeah, it's kind of what buyer
because
beware, right? Like, you're
they're
buying this cheap
rotted out on
car.
the inside. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm imagine if it's like completely submerged or like submerged up to like the rear view mirrors or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only a few spots where Sandy, so most of the Sandy was like 3 to less feet,
Oh, okay.
except for maybe like Red Hook or
So, what do you use for like your kind of like your chassis or your like your base model for an art car? I mean, suppose it's like each one of these is a little bit different, right? I mean, use like a car, a bus, or a truck.
um I've made I think probably like 25 art cars, so
Oh, really?
I don't it's hard to just pick one chassis or something, but traditionally I'm a Ford guy. I was raised by a Ford mechanic and or was like taught early as a by a Ford mechanic, my stepdad, and then I like Hondas. Um, there's lots of different reasons. I like different vehicles. Like right now, I'm pretty much just making electric vehicles and
Oh,
art
really?
cars. The
Is
one I
that
did
like
last year, the
is like taking a
Cybercat,
Cybercat? Oh,
it's one I made with Marion.
oh, really? She likes her cats. So, would you take like a gas powered car and convert it to electric, or are you usually starting with like more like an electric car?
Well, like we just converted Robot Heart over to electric, and there's another vehicle that Robot Heart has called Shady Bot. Uh, is getting converted to electric this year. Um, thinking about doing it to the Dragon, but I'm not sure that's what I'm going to do for this year, but eventually I would.
Hmm. I mean, I just wondered about like like because electric vehicle like art cars in the Playa are definitely getting more popular, but it's just in terms of charging them. I mean, it's I mean, I guess people have those giant trailer sized generators, but that everyone's trying to go green. I mean, we can have like fields of solar panels and like God, must be a lot of battery,
There's
right?
there's solar powered generators out there.
Oh yeah, but like enough electricity to power like a double decker bus or even like a smashed up Honda Civic. I mean, I guess on the playa, it's like you're not driving around like well, I don't know. Like, how many miles would you drive around? Like, if you're just kind of like driving around from like Monday through Monday, like drive. I mean,
Really depends on
yeah.
the camp or the vehicle.
I mean, like Robot Heart, I'm sure like they drive and they park, right? And then they don't move for a little while.
um, they drive about 10 miles a day, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, plus I'm sure they probably would use more electricity with their like sound and lighting and
The sound eats it up, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Acoustic. Right.
But it's a huge battery bank of lithium ion and lithium ion batteries.
Oh,
The spermobiles, which are like golf carts with aluminum frames on them. I When James passed away, one of my friends, Tom Lee, bought a couple of them and converted those over to lithium ion off of lead acid, and those run for most of the day before they wear out. Marion's car is on a 2011 E-Ride Patriot, which is a
what's that?
electric vehicle made in Minnesota, and we converted that over to lithium ion off of the lead acid batteries. So those do a lot better out there with just no fluids, or you know they
Hmm.
don't mind the heat, and the charging is pretty quick.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how does the batteries and the electric car tech like do with like the heat and the desert conditions out there?
They like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Because I just noticed that, like, like battery packs and like phones, and even I have like an electric car, and like some a lot of times, like when it's hot, it's like it tends to like the battery tends to like run down faster.
When it's hot,
Yeah.
hmm, I think it's the opposite, but
Oh, really? Huh.
yeah,
Oh, so like cold is like not so good for batteries,
they
right?
don't like cold. Like they don't want to get stored in freezing temperature. I mean, right here it's like what, 8 below. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you guys are getting like the polar freezer. And like we're recording this in January 24th. So like, big, huge freeze across the country. Yeah, it's chilly here in Hawaii. It's like 63 degrees or something.
yeah,
It's
what part are
funny,
you in?
Oahu, like North Shore. But that's funny because like it gets down to like 60, 65, and no joke, people are putting on like puffy jackets.
Oh yeah,
And they're like, it's so cold. Like,
it's like that in
like
LA too.
he's like, you don't know that. You don't know cold. No, because I grew up on the East Coast and went to school in Burlington, Vermont. And I remember one day the temperature shifted 60 degrees and was still below freezing. Like minus 30 to 30. And then just,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And just like going outside, and it's like my beard would like freeze up. And I remember like I always come back home and like I'd race to the door and run up to go look at like the mirror because it would like melt like real fast. And it's like, I want to see the ice up my face. Or just also
yeah,
like people saying like, don't breathe in too deeply. And it's like, why? It's like, oh, you'll get,
freeze your lungs. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So of course, what do? You go like,
yeah.
oh.
38 below and 8 below is a lot different. But I grew up in Minnesota, so when the when I was in college, I guess right before I came out to Burning Man, I worked at this parade company called Holodazzle. The parade was downtown Minneapolis to get people to come back downtown to go shopping because the Mall of America had been built. And um, we would only stop the parade if it was below 25 below, which happened, I think, a handful of times every year.
Hmm.
It's becoming less frequent, but even
Yeah.
I think yesterday it got down to like 20 below there.
Well, see, that's where like flame effects could come in as a public service, right?
Yeah, I well, I got certified to do pyro and some things that we did in special effects when I worked in the movies, and I've pretty much let other people do that from now on. After having kids, it was just kind of like, is it really cool to just be burning off propane for fun?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's my
So,
Not judging people who
how,
do it, and I think it's still fun.
oh yeah,
As a
I
game,
can only
but
imagine how much propane's burned off at Burning Man.
yeah,
A lot.
some years a lot more than others. Yeah,
Yeah. So, how long did you work? You said you worked in the movies or
yeah,
movie industry.
yeah,
How long did you do that
and
for?
TV and what?
How long did you do that for?
Let's see, I guess started. I was on Junkyard Wars for a season,
Oh,
one of their last seasons. That would have been 2001, I think. I don't
wow.
know. Getting old. I don't remember all these dates anymore, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
then I did some Monster Garage. I did what's it called? Rock and Roll Acid Test.
Rock and roll
And
acid. What's that? So, huh.
it was a show on Fuse that was trying to be Mythbusters, kind of, but for rock
Oh,
and roll myths.
huh.
It's around the same time that Smash Labs was on Discovery
Oh,
Channel.
okay.
So,
Wow.
and then that's when I started apprenticing, or let's see, around then, 2002, I think. I started apprenticing for Christian Risto, who was part of Survival Research Labs and started Robo Christ, and
Oh.
it's another artist at Burning Man, but he worked in the movies, so a lot of it was just building stuff for him,
Mm-hmm.
stuff that he was making more for art while he would go and work on like AI or Spider-Man or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then couple of like a lot of the other guys that worked with him were also into movies and TV. So they
So
got
what
to
whatever happened to like survival research labs and seamen and stuff? Because I mean, I remember seeing some of their shows. I used to live in San Francisco, yeah, like later '90s, yeah. I mean, I didn't really haven't really heard much of them in like a long time. I mean, I guess well, like I said, like everybody grows up and some people have kids and stuff, like other priorities. You know,
Mark still does shows all over the world. They're not really allowed to do stuff in San Francisco as much anymore
uh,
because of those shows that you went to and
uh-huh.
him giving out free fake bombs that showed up everywhere and basically creating a vendetta with the fire chief of San Francisco that's been passed down.
Oh
But he did
yeah.
a show. There's one in St. I mean, you can look on their website. They do shows all over the place.
Huh. So they're still around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. I imagine like post 9/11 too. Like they must have been just like, yeah, no, you can't do this shit anymore. Like we're now gonna classify you guys like terrorists or something.
Um, well, no, they still did shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember one like,
There's one in LA after 9/11. There's one in San Jose. There's
oh
one
yeah.
in Amsterdam,
Huh.
um, Tokyo.
Yeah. I just remember this one like underneath the freeway in San Francisco, like
That's the one everyone talks about. Yep.
going with the giant like water tower full of putrid liquid. I've never seen a crowd of like hundreds of people just like in unison. It was almost like you could draw a line. Like everyone was just like moving backwards. It was just this tower, this water came out. Like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then it's like, wait, like one, two, three. And then all of a sudden, whoa! And then just immediately everybody moving back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Um, Mark Pauline is really amazing human being. He's, I think considered the godfather of American robotic performance art, and I think he's one of the most intelligent and creative people on the planet.
Wow. So now today, like in Detroit, like I mean, do you like
Not to
show?
mention all the other people that are part of survival research labs too. I don't want to leave them out because it is a collection of some of the most
Oh yeah.
dirtiest creatives and specifically just like machine artists that use ex-military products and as like arts like ex-military vehicles and weapons and etc. as
Hmm.
art materials and turn them into something that's um, I think really beautiful. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Has anyone like
Christians with
documented any of their stuff? I mean, that's the quite a story, you know. I mean, going back like decades now, you know. I mean, like I said, there's probably like number of people you could mention, a number of art and events. I mean,
that show Robot Wars was stolen from them.
yeah.
There's a couple books about that. There is Mark's website, or I mean, Survival Research's website has all of it
Hmm.
very well documented.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, so for you to today, I mean, so do you? I mean, you're still continuing on with your art, and I mean, do you? I mean, other than like Burning Man, like I guess you do you like take your art like to you said like other like festivals and or do you have like shows or
Yep.
yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, let's go into like your background. So it's like where'd you grow up? How did this all begin for you?
Grew up in Minneapolis. I to the Lola and Rudy Perpich Minnesota Center for Arts Education for high school, which is a arts high school.
Hmm,
And I went to Minneapolis College of Art and Design and lived on Portland Avenue, where they just killed that lady.
really?
Uh, yeah,
Wow. You grew up on that street?
yeah.
Wow.
Well, I didn't grow up there, but that's where I lived when I
Yeah.
moved out of the dorms in high school.
Wow. So I take it you still have like a lot of friends, family there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about all that? I mean,
Uh, I feel been coming for a while. I think
yeah.
it's horrible. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything to do other than just make art and try to inspire people in ways that I've trained for.
Hmm.
But
Well,
you know,
yeah. Anyway, so you went to like a arts high school and
I don't know if
then
you saw the rally yesterday where there's like I think it was like 60,000 people just showed up and just surrounded the hotel where they're all staying.
yeah, I saw some pictures of that like last night. Yeah. It's like it's incredible. And it's like freezing there too, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't think I mean, there's a reason that they're doing that to Minnesota, just the, um, kind of more socialist, leftist, and,
Well, I think
tough
the
people.
president said it pretty clearly when he says, you know, retribution is coming. It's like, well, take him at his word. It's like, is this a
Yeah.
law enforcement thing or is this a personal? Anyway, we don't really go too much into politics in my show. It's more about you and like I'm talking about you as an artist. Okay, so you went to art high school in Minneapolis, and you go to college too, or
Yep. Minneapolis College of Art and Design. Went there for a while, and then after going to Burning Man, just like met Christian and guys from SRL like Cal, and it's like, okay, this is more. I'm gonna learn a lot more from these guys than I am from the art school.
Art and
And
design classes.
yeah, I mean that was in 97 or 98, 99 ish, when I made that decision. And you know, school had really turned from being focused on it's like visual art and just like sculpture. I had other good programs too, but it really hi- it fired off a lot of people and hired on a lot of people to, work on web art, and the internet had just started really becoming a viable, teachable product. So a lot of
Mm,
people started going there for 3D, well, for more for like computer and web design.
like multimedia stuff with, yeah, they called it back then,
And
right? Yeah.
there were teachers that were teaching, robotics and electronics and stuff, but I learned a lot more from Cal and Christian and Greg Jones and
Hmm.
work. And
So you went to Burning Man, you got the bug. Did you like move out to the Bay Area, or did you like where'd you go from there?
uh, I got a place in the Bay. I left Minneapolis and was already like touring around with that circus a bit, living in New Orleans over the winter. Went to New York in 2001. Got there like a couple weeks before the towers blew up,
Oh wow.
and then kept a place in Brooklyn and one in Oakland, going back and forth. Sometimes living out at the work ranch, sometimes living in New Orleans, sometimes New York, sometimes Oakland, but also traveling. Um, go to Coachella in LA and go to Amsterdam or Spain, or
Is this with this the circus group you're talking about?
just doing different art projects.
Oh. Yeah, I was
The
gonna ask. It's like how,
circus mostly, the circus mostly toured around the States.
oh, okay. And what'd you do with the circus?
I was the tall bike jousting champion of the world.
God, I remember that. Okay, so for the listeners, people who probably either haven't been to Burning Man or they're not that old. Like the tall bikes is like a one bike welded on top of another, right? So it's like a two bikes tall. And I just remember that we had a guy in our camp like one year, I think it was like late 90s, and he came back and I guess he'd been to Rampart and had some nasty injury. And we're like, what happened? He was like, well, I was in the tall bike jousting competition, and he decided his shtick, he was like, oh, I'm gonna do it completely naked. We're like,
Yeah,
I don't think that's a great idea. you know? And so I
yeah.
guess the other his competitor kept like pointing the lance like at his junk and managed to contact.
I think he tried to ram me too. That was his other tactic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that guy was
Like,
camping with us. We were like, yeah.
uh,
I was like back in the day. Yeah. God, you don't really see those bikes around anymore. God, it's been years. Well, I guess now everything's an e-bike, right?
um, oh, you mean on the playa?
Yeah.
I think they're still out there.
Oh, really? But
E-bikes
eh,
are pretty sweet too.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just, uh, I've always just been kind of hoofing it in all these years. I'm a sucker. But all right.
That's good too.
I don't know. You tend to see things more. You know, you're not just like zooming around. You know, although would like to have an art card or you know use of one to see more than just like a tiny fraction of it. rather than like walking a marathon every single day. Which
Yeah.
I tended to do like a half marathon like every day. Like yeah, but
What's your typical day at Burning Man? Do you like to?
well, there's the different eras, right? Like like back in the day, like I first went in '96, and me and my brother we started this camp called the Cult of Distraction, and it was a bar, and uh, there were some years it's like we didn't even like leave the camp. And then I always tell people like my worst nightmare is like, it's like hanging out, you're having a good time, and you look up and the sky turns from like jet black to like dark blue, and you're just like, oh fuck. Like another night of no sleep. It's like that's like 3 4 in a row. And
Yeah.
just always sleeping like intense, so I'm like there's no sleeping during the day, so but nowadays like I actually took 13 years off, and to like mostly like raise my son, who's now he's turning 18 in a couple of weeks, and he's going to be going off to college. And so it's like yeah, so 24 was the first year I went back, and then I went back again like last year. And so, but this year I can't go because I got to take him off to college. But I think next year, like the Cult of Distraction is going to be back. Um, but yeah, so this time around, it's like my schedule's kind of changed. Where I was like, I'm like, you know what? Getting a good night's sleep is actually really nice. So like yeah, like waking up in the morning and being like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it's just like I can walk around and I can see all sorts of things. And it's like I don't know, just it's just like very different interactions with people. It's like I still would stay up like fairly late, but just not the all night every night. And then I'm not, like by Wednesday I'm not like a zombie. Like I
Yeah.
was in years past. I have people showing up like, let's go out and have fun. I'm like, more like surly and like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You said do you have kids too, right? Has the Burning Man like the sort of changed for you?
Um, well, it has. We've brought them out there a couple times. Now they're like, 13 and 15, and they're pretty much like, yeah, whatever, dad, zoned. But they, let's see, I would say there's a big chunk of my income that comes from building things for Burning Man, and
Hmm.
whether it's art projects or art cars or related stuff to Burning Man, going to some of the other events that are, what do they call them? I don't know, like Love Burn. What is it called? It's not an offshoot. There's a name for it, but now they're kind of even not
Oh, you mean
really.
it's a non-sanctioned, like unofficial Burning Man, like, but not, yeah, I don't know what
Yeah,
you call it.
it was. I think it had like permission for a while, but now it's like they got in an argument. I don't even know what's going on with it,
I
but
don't completely understand it either. I think it's was like a regional event, like an official Burning Man sanctioned like regional event, but yeah, there's some sort of dispute, and so I guess they pulled the official sanctioning or something. But
yeah.
it's kind of like in the old cacophony days with like it's what do they say that like on their newsletter they would have they would have cacophony things, and then things just like sounds like cacophony. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine like with your kids. It's like I mean, you must be like. I mean, think like objectively about it. It's like, wow, you must be like the coolest dad. It's like you build all these incredible things, and you go to all these incredible like events, and people are just like, wow, like feting you. Just like yeah, it's like you're the man. But of course, to like any kid, It's like, yeah, you're lame, Dad. You know?
Um, well, I think their specific feelings on me right now are like pretty different, the two of them.
Uh-huh.
My daughter will answer the phone if I call. My son's kind of like, eh, he's the younger one. I would go into the school and, you know, volunteer building their sets for their theater class and
Wow.
um, coach the robotics team. And they won nationals and
Wow.
got to meet the president and stuff. They're both 4.0 kids and
Awesome.
top of the tops of their class. But they go to this school called Cass Tech here now, which is a high school that is the top school in Detroit, and a lot of the programs are based. They have art, good art program. They have great engineering, and my son's going for architecture. And it's pretty strict that you have to keep your grades above like a
Hmm.
3.8 or you get kicked out.
Really? Wow. Wow, that's incredible. Wow. Well, it says to me that you're doing a good job.
Well, I want to give credit to their mom more too,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
themselves. Like they,
Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's
um,
takes a
you know,
village. Takes a
right now
family.
I hardly see him.
Yeah. But I don't know. I always just think about how like no matter what kid I've ever mentioned, they're always just like, yeah, no, my parents not cool. It's like, no, actually, your parent your is objectively cool.
I think that's part of growing up is your parents aren't cool because you're trying to find this independence, and that's something
Hmm.
that I think I can be supportive of, and
Yeah.
you know
Also, they
if they
always have to
do
do the opposite thing, right? I don't know what that would be. Like I'm
right,
gonna be like Alex Keaton or Trad wife.
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some of that, but I mean, well, I don't know. My daughter also like one of the last times we hung out, I was wearing a robot heart hoodie. She's just like, "That's mine now."
It's like, oh, that's I thought I wasn't cool. Like, yeah, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Um, yeah,
All
I don't
right.
know if it I don't know. Each kid is different, so
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's different. All right. Well, like this kind of gets us on to our last question. The, what is like the impact and influence of Burning Man on your life?
I mean the first thing that really was amazing to see there was just the scale of art that you could create and the idea of the gallery where you're showing art being seemingly infinite and between working DPW and building a lot of big projects out there and working with other artists who are like, number one, doing something they had never tried before on a scale they've never tried before. New projects every year, whether it was the temples or the man base or I don't know, dozens of other projects that I helped work on when I was running the metal shop or working for what like became art support services and just watching Burning Man itself grow from it being a wild 80-acre ranch with a couple cowboys on it to hundreds of maybe even 1,000. I don't know how many I don't know how many people DPW is up to, but with volunteers and everyone over the years, it's a huge number of people that have worked there.
Yeah.
Seeing how those systems were created and how that organization itself grew from, six to eight people, or even like, okay, even before that, like 96, you know, John Law, and knowing those people, or seeing how integrated people like from Survival Research Labs and Cacophony Society and these other groups kind of all just got mingled in as burners and parts of the conversation of what it means to go to Burning Man and how people identify with that. It's been really interesting.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
96 was definitely like one of the big transition years, right? I remember it was like Stuart Mangrum was said, it was like, oh yeah, I can't remember the phrase he used, but it was like it was like that was the year like Cacophony and Burning Man kind of had a very public divorce or something. So like, and then like I was reading like Coyote's book, so I guess like after like 96, like what did they say? They're just like those like, oh yeah, they lost like everybody and they had to kind of like rebuild. And so that was kind of almost like the beginning of like the modern kind of like DPW. I guess it'd be sort of like 97 onwards or something. Sound about
um,
right?
yeah, that's when uh, Michael was riding on his motorcycle and
Fury?
in the
Yeah.
dark died, and then you know some of the things that were said by Larry and his staff versus what the feelings were of the Cacophony Society people that were just like, oh, this is just going to get more sold out and turn into exactly what it did. Uh, but I don't know, as the artist, I'm not going to pick a side on that. I love both of those groups
Oh
for
yeah.
different reasons.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's sad that people have died out there, and I've seen it firsthand, and it's man, that'll change you for a while. But
Yeah.
I think in any situation where you had people getting together like that, there's going to be some of that, or just
Yeah. Well, that's also part of the reason why they have like over the years is the evolution of like all like the bureaucracy and the rules and
oh yeah,
you know
I have four rules under my belt. It started because of me, and
I mean you're the instigator of these four rules or you're the
there's
reason why they
no, no more shockwave cannons, uh, no more pulse jet driven carnival rides.
oh I remember something like that. Yeah.
Let's
It
see,
was like this little cart thing that had a pulse jet thing. Anyway, yeah. That's
yeah,
years ago.
um, no more wind powered um, vehicles during the event. I mean, all this stuff is during the event too. They would still let us get out, but we had,
Wind powered? You mean like with a sail or something?
yeah, we had a land sail that we were
Oh,
riding during the event, and it hurt too many people.
was that the one that was almost like a catamaran thing, had like airplane tires? And I remember there was some big whiteout and it like,
There was a couple, yeah. The one we made was more like bike size, but
yeah, no, this one was like large. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
All right,
remember
what
the
was
big
the
one. That one was let's see, he was
like early
I'm
2000s or
pretty
something?
sure it was Paul. He was part of Cacophony in San Francisco, and he did like the hammock camp.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds
What's
so
his name?
familiar. I can't remember. Anyway,
Paul DeJong. Paul DeJong,
mm.
I think.
So what's number four? Let's
Uh
see. No pulse powered
oh.
jets, no wind powered, no pulse
Let's see.
cannon.
We had a rocket turbine that was shooting flames off the back of my skull car, which was like a dune buggy, but basically now all flamethrowers have to be pointed up can't be horizontal.
I mean, I think it wasn't like at like head level, right? I mean,
It was, yeah. Like none of the, well, let's see. We didn't permanently damage anybody from any of those things, but it was just determined that that
can't take
was
the risk. Like,
I
yeah,
had found the line and we had crossed it.
wow, yeah, yeah. But it's just kind of interesting to me. Another thing, like we're talking about, just like the impact, influence of branding on your life. It's like you were in Minneapolis, like went to like an arts high school, went to college like for arts, and then you come out to Black Rock Desert and you see all this stuff, and it kind of like opens your mind. And I know there's always a thing going on for years that like the art at Burning Man was like in terms of like the art world is like, is this really art? Or it's like, oh, if rank amateurs can just bring a bunch of junk out to the desert and like just cobble things together, it's like, is that really? I mean, I guess high art, back in the day, I guess they would kind of turn up their noses at that, but now, I mean, like all these years later, I mean, I don't know, what's your impression? I mean,
Um, I don't know. We did a show in the Smithsonian that was all Burning Man art.
oh yeah, yeah,
There's with any art, there's going to be snobs and there's going to be like, the outsiders that are just making it for themselves or art, you know, that's, I think that's a point of view thing, not like anything I ever cared to. I always thought it was a lot more amazing to kind of tear down that velvet rope and go to the art world and make stuff that people could participate with, interact with, touch,
yeah,
ride on.
yeah. I don't know. I love that. Just it's like instead of debating, it's just like I'm just gonna do it, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, also even in the higher art world, there's art that I think is uh, it's just somebody throwing some shit together and talking about it. That's
I mean, like a banana taped to a wall.
it's a great example. Um,
Yeah.
another big thing that changed for '96. I think that was the first year when it was in Wired, and it
Oh yeah.
came out kind of came out of the underground a little bit more and got well, I think when Marion stepped in and they started the board and it wasn't just like, a bunch
Hmm.
of guys spending whatever money they had and maybe keeping receipts or maybe not, or just the stuff that was going on the ranch when we were there was wild. And, you know, when stuff did get really wild up there and came out, it was just like, okay, what's going on?
Well, I
And
guess in a certain sense, that's just kind of not sustainable, right? I mean, I don't know, just like one of those scenes from the Coyotes book when
um,
it's like they're all at the ranch having
sustainable,
dinner
I
and
think,
everyone has their
yes,
guns with
but
them.
it didn't have, I mean, it still is kind of like that, but
Hmm.
uh, definitely there were some things that happened, and without naming like names, you probably read about it in different books too, but
Hmm.
just like things that happened where it was like women were not treated with uh, the respect they deserve, and that's when you know a lot of us were like, hey, if this doesn't change immediately, like we're all walking out now. You can deal with it your own self. And Marion was like very much there and listened and made sure that changes were made and empowered women from there. And before then, there was a lot of empowering of women, but just like
Hmm.
shit like that got dealt with immediately. It seemed like, not that that's never happened since or something, because I think that's just unfortunately
That's been a long-standing
not the
issue.
case, but
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I wouldn't even, I would, I wouldn't even say that it's 100% like even solved like now, But
yeah, and I think it is getting better, hopefully. And I don't work there anymore directly, but I am on the like I do I do still have friends that, have been there the whole time and
hmm
I have seen a lot of good changes. So
yeah. So you still keep going back, huh? I mean, you do like every single year, or you take time off, or
um well my kids were both born during Burning Man and I did not go when they were born. Um so missed a couple years there. A close friend passed away right before the event a couple years ago. So yeah, but I've missed a few, but um, because of all the work that I have done out there, and just when I was younger and made a lot of connections, I would be out there for you know almost half the year, setting
wow.
stuff up and working on the ridge or preparing stuff for the next year, cleaning up everything, and so a lot of the contacts I made and just a lot of the people I worked with continue to go out there. Um, I do have multiple cars that go out there, so I do go out and try to help maintain some of those.
hmm
But or like try to build a new art car every year, at least one.
So is that what keeps you coming back? Like the people, the art cars?
Um, yeah, I mean, also just getting to hang out with the other artists and the other friends that I've made along the way. When I first met Robot Heart, I think I explained that I was like, I don't know, LED guys. Like back then, I was punk, and I was like flamethrowers and explosions and stuff like we were doing that we weren't like some of those things that you can't do anymore, like I was saying. But I also, it's just like rich frat boys. Like I don't know, I don't want to help them. I'm better than them. I think, I was pretty cocky, and then
Hmm.
that that experience of me just like feeling like that and then catching myself and being like, fuck it, let's give it a try. And watching those guys grow from being young, uh, some of them just like womanizing, wild young males, and you
Partying.
know,
Yeah.
most of them, uh, like a lot of the uh, more, I don't know, people that have their own companies and stuff. They're more
hmm
alpha. They're more like talking shit and just stuff like, man,
Do you
I don't
think
know how to
like Birdie
explain it.
Man has kind of
I'm trying
changed
not to
them?
stick my foot in my mouth here, but
No, no, no,
what I meant
no.
to say is like watching them grow
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
into really amazing parents, really amazing like what I would almost consider brothers, um, and seeing like I remember showing up to Robot Heart and getting on Playa, and Geo was just like, you know, the cops would come up, right, to camp in the early days to Robot Heart. And
hmm
I would always be like, oh, God, why are you
Yeah.
guys being nice to them? Fuck the cops, everything, just from experiences I had as a young man and just how I felt. And just like hating authority in a way
hmm
to, you know, Gio's like, no, dude, check it out. We made these like custom goggles that we own. These ones are only for the cops, right? And then, people that are part of Robot Heart who are like the top venture capitalists from the military and just like ex-Green Berets or like Wes Clark would stay at our camp and come in on a Black Hawk helicopter and
Really?
stuff that I would never have had access to.
Yeah.
Well, maybe no, not. I'm not gonna say I would never have had access, but that is like how I opened up my access to all the different classes that are out there, and that is part of what keeps me coming back is just the amazement of the theater of life and how fun it is out there, how many influential people and just
Hmm.
intelligent people come out there, but also just a bunch of stupid, awesome idiot friends that are like having the most fun and playing the clown or the
Oh yeah.
jester, like all the different roles are out there, and just it's so unlike any other festival or group of people that you can put together.
Oh yeah. Like I always tell people, and I think I put like a meme out in social media a couple years ago about this. Like, if it was all about just a big party, like we're just gonna just go out somewhere, get fucked up. It's like, would
Yeah,
you keep doing that year after year after year, decade after decade? It's like you get older. It was like, yeah, you're in your 20s. Like, yeah, yeah, we all have a good time. But like, your 40s, 50s, 60s, it's like like that's what the whole basis of the show is about. It's like what drives people. It's like why keep going
yeah,
on? And like what you said, that's exactly it. Like Burning Man just has this, and I think Cacophony before that too, and after. It's like this weird magic melting pot. It takes people from different backgrounds and strangers now, like all over the world, people of all different ethnicities and nationalities and backgrounds and ideologies, genders, and whatever, and socioeconomic statuses and whatever. And it's like, after, a week or a couple of days in the dust, like, I mean, you're not spilling blood to say mud, but, it's like, scraping your hand in rust and same dust. I mean, like you said, like people, it's like, oh, you never would have thought that you'd kind of make friends with these people, but it turns out it's like, hey, I'm human, you're human, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Or like, um, there's like a group chat that some of us are in with some law enforcement guys and some like
Really?
uh, it's hilarious to see how similar we all are creating those borders. Like we
Mm-hmm.
talked a little bit about Minneapolis and ICE, but I mean, I see unfortunately both sides and how people got involved with, wanting to become part of ICE, and there's a pretty gnarly subtext on that. And then there's also, who am I to say that the Minnesotans and the socialism and the,
Mm-hmm.
things that are going on there are better or more American or should be stood up for. I mean, we're all just still people, and I think if anything, uh, Burning Man is one of the best examples of how all those people come together.
Yeah.
And you can be from anywhere. You don't even have to like get into a conflict about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was amazing. Cacophony was like that too. I think one of the best parts of the Cacophony is just it's the way it got people to interact and be involved and become what I would say is performance art. So when
Mm-hmm.
people are like, "Oh, Bernie Man's the Special Olympics of the art world," or "It's this," or "It's not good enough," or "Oh, you're like, okay, so yeah, but you're still like out there and trying. You're
Yeah.
still trying to at least have some freedom of expression, and you're doing it in an environment that is highly difficult and demanding and hard on gear and hard on people, hard on your lungs, hard on your eyes, hard on like, you know,
Well, would
like
it be the
trying to,
same if it was easy? I mean, it's like,
sure. I think anytime people are trying to make art, like, your example, I understand what you're trying to ask, and I hope I answered it in the most thorough way that I believe. But
sure.
as an artist, like, if somebody's people say something like, "Oh yeah, I can't even draw a straight line," like, well, it doesn't mean you can't write a poem or, sing a song or
Hmm.
draw a picture with no straight lines in it, or
Yeah.
it's really just if people are deciding they're better than the others or not, and there is no winner in the art world. Like, is that person who's stressed out with 15 employees that are working in their studio making their art for them, and they're basically just doing the marketing part, or walking in and being like, good work everybody, and then all the work's being created by somebody else and they're taking all the credit for it? Are they happier than the person who's just like in their dorm room, drawing bugs or
Hmm.
whatever they're doing? Like,
Yeah. Well, I guess it's their own
and then
personal radical self-expression, right? I mean, like, there's no one right way. I mean, or thing.
there's no like winner in the art world. It's
Yeah.
not like sports. You can't like turn it into a competition like that. You can pick your favorites. You can
Oh,
decide why
yeah.
you like things better than others, maybe, but critique it. But
Hmm.
I don't. There's no like
I think
champion.
it's more of like a kind of artsy kind of competition thing where it's like we kind of all challenge ourselves and challenge each other to challenge ourselves to like do like the most that you could possibly do, like your own radical self-expression kind of thing. I always just
Yeah.
remember this. I don't know where I heard this from, but it was like comparison is the best tool of the devil. I mean, not that I'm religious or anything, but I was just kind of like, yeah, it's like, don't think about like, it's like Tiffany over there is building a larger art car than me. It's just like, well, I'm doing my thing and she's doing her thing. It's just like, why are you comparing? It's just like, I like
Yeah.
what you're doing and she likes what I'm doing. Hey, great.
Yeah. I mean, I have my favorites, but I think just anytime anyone's trying, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you get inspiration. We inspire each other. All right. Well,
There's another part of it that like, who's gonna be more likely to feel like they wish they had been the other person? Is it gonna be like the entrepreneur who made all the money and just focused on chasing that? Or is it gonna be, would they have rather been the artist
hmm,
and lived in a way where they were able to express freely and create and inspire people in that way? And I don't know that I have the answer to that until I die, but
that the grass is
I
always
think
greener kind of argument.
sure. I just also, going to school and I was pushed really hard and had really good grades and test scores, etc. It's like, you got to be a doctor, or you got to be a lawyer, you got to be like this, and
Hmm.
it's like I think the thing that would be most helpful to the world for me to do is just create and try to inspire people with the things that I'm making, and feel very lucky to be able to wake up and do that.
Yeah. Well, you've lived an incredible life. I mean, you've made a lot of beautiful art. I mean, it's like, yeah, like I said, you can always compare. Grass is always kind of greener on the other side of the fence, whatever. But it's like, I don't know. I always think just like no regrets, right? It's like I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm living a great life. Got a great family, great kids. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're lucky.
And we can still go back to Burning Man next year and see all our friends.
Which reminds me, I should get back to work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've been about an hour and 24 here. It's usually about the limit. Well, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful interview.
No problem. Thank you. You have a lovely day out there.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this show, please subscribe, rate, and review it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. The more reviews the show has, the more likely it will even appear in search results. Also, please tell a friend and share this show with anyone that you think might like it. Word of mouth reaches quite far, especially in the Burning Man community. If you would like to contact us, please send an email to shadowofthemanpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow Shadow of the Man on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, and YouTube. The links for all of these are available at shadowoftheman.com. Feel free to use any of these social media accounts to provide any feedback you might have. Your thoughts on the show are greatly appreciated. Thank you, and see you soon for a new episode of The Shadow of the Man.
Thank you for listening to this latest show. We have to make another one, so gotta go. Don't worry, for next month we already have one in the can. Very soon you'll be listening to a new Shadow of the Man.